Hi everyone, welcome back to Sew with Zion. I'm a beginner learning how to sew, and I want to share with you a project that didn't go well. Alright, so this is my smoked clothes or shirred dress practice. I spent about 3 days, I spent almost 3 days making this dress, and almost everything came loose. One big mistake I made was not sewing on a tight stitch. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't sew on a tight stitch, and because of that, the stitches came loosening. The stitches kept loosening and actually didn't hold properly. Now, at the time of making these clothes, I didn't know that making shirred dress, you ought to sew on a tight stitch and not on a loose stitch. Because what happened here is because I sewed most times on a loose stitch. Even when the machine kept going, like the tension kept going on, I kept bringing it down to a loose stitch, but I didn't know. That was why all these ones that sewed on a tight stitch, they are intact. You can see it stretches and it comes back to its smaller size without breaking. Now, at the time, I didn't understand the importance, or how I didn't understand how important tension was to stitching. And all. The mistake I made was not sewing on a tight stitch, and because of that, the stitches kept loosening and the dress didn't hold properly. So at the time, I didn't understand how important stitch tension was, and the role it will serve actually in how the shirred dress will turn out. I didn't know, because most of the times I kept bringing the tension down to the lowest, like thinking it was supposed to stretch and bounce back better, but I never knew it. So that was it. At the time, I didn't understand how important stitch tension was, and I actually didn't test it on any fabric. So I just went direct and started sewing on my main fabric. Okay, so what this taught me is that as a beginner, it is okay to make mistakes, right? But it's very important to learn from them. So next time, if I definitely I'm going to lose everything and start all over again. Now this time I will have to like test my stitch tension and again sew on any rough piece to know the outcome before proceeding again properly. So I will have to lose everything I have done and start all over again. I'm sharing this because I know there are other beginners like myself who might feel discouraged when things don't work out. So that is the essence of me making this documentation, why I am making all of this. I'm trying to compile it as a way of encouraging myself and others out there who might actually need the motivation as well. Now, another important fact is that the mistake I've already made, I would be more than happy to know that other beginners like myself, come across this video and they are able to like learn, because I didn't learn on time. I never knew I'm supposed to sew on a tight stitch. Now, this video will help a beginner out there who also want to practice a smoked clothes or a shirred dress, and they will know what to do in terms of sewing. Now, they are supposed to sew on a tight stitch and never on a loose stitch. And don't forget, when you're doing this, you sew on the right side of the fabric, not the left, because I made that mistake several times. I had to sew and lose so many times before I finally even got it right. And again, I never knew, and I messed up the whole thing with loose sewing. So at least this experience I've had will actually help somebody out there, not wasting 3 days or probably 2 days, or maybe whichever way, because mine took me 3 days. I don't know what the next person's number of days would be in terms of practicing this as a beginner. So This video will actually help somebody out there, and I will be more than happy if a beginner like myself also learn this lesson on time and not go ahead to make that same mistake I have already made. All right, so please don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Is a way of motivating me, knowing that I'm not on this journey alone. You know, let's grow together, let's learn together and share our mistakes and learn from one another. Okay, so if this video was helpful, please do not forget to drop a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that when my next video drops, you are the first to get notified. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.